Why, hello there, everyone. How's it going? It's a stock market video from our phone. I'm really happy to announce that I spent all the time that I said I was going to spend on the stock market Google Sheet, reviewing over 3,000 stocks originally a few years ago, and getting it down to now it's only a couple hundred. And I have reviewed every one of these companies. Yeah, 258, I guess we're at. I've reviewed all these companies, looked at their financials, and thought about their industry, thought about what they do, but also done an extensive review of their profit, revenue, margins, things that are important, and of course their stock price. To do analysis, I've done all this in the past few months so that I wanted to make this a functional enough Google sheet that you could just open this thing up and see what the algorithm says. The algorithm, or really my advice and my comments, what they say. You sort this and you see the stocks that it basically says are the highest value right now. Like I have Tesla number one because their quarterly target price I have way up at 250, even though they're at 183. I'm obviously I'm always been really extremely bullish on Tesla, and I continue to be so. So they're up there. But things like Canadian Solar had a really strong increase in revenue recently, and their short interest, while it still exists and pushes their stock price down sometimes, they're showing survival and growth in the solar and battery industry and solar providing electricity. It's a huge deal, and they're still a deal. So I see them jumping significantly in price as well. Borg Warner in the battery creation industry, great profits. I think very reasonably priced. I see them going up. That's BWA. Moderna. Let's not make this a forever video about Moderna, but boy, are they changing a lot of the ways we're going to be treating disease, and uh, the possibilities are endless there. So I have them at strike prices too. And I have a lot of different things in here. So you can just browse, but you can also say, well, what happened today? You can also take a look at the visual of the charts of things today. Like of the companies on our list, Tesla is traded a ton. You look at this percent traded over here. Of all the companies we have on here, Tesla has the highest, least volatility from in terms of the percent of the company that's traded, and the company has a market cap of $573 billion. So it's just a really cool way to look at all these things, but there's more you can do in here also. You get kind of a look at an idea of like how the day went for certain industries that are in here by using this day change number. Be like, all right, well, who's the companies that went up the most today? I believe that is Z to A. Sort by Z to A under day change, and you see that Super Microcomputer, Cisco Systems, Target, I guess, recovered today. First Solar, Massimo Company is a company I've talked about, that's non-invasive blood organ monitoring and stuff. That they have kind of an advancement in technology. They're also profitable. I'm not surprised to see them go up. Um, any company that has a quarterly target price on the left is a company that I think is a good company you should buy long calls in. Um, I might remove Target off there because I'm not so sure about retail, uh, but we'll see. Eli Lilly, Reliance Steel, Deere Company. So these are some of the companies that did well on Thursday as we go into Friday. And here's some companies that we could look at in the other direction that had a rough day and what industries they were in and what their values are. Schrodinger, obviously, a company I say to put, had a really bad day and they went down 9%. Yep. I don't know the Ormat Technologies. Yep, interesting small profits though. I said. Notice there are no target prices except for the word put. Oh, is that Roblox down there with a put? Also down 5.4%. Weren't they at $40 a share just like last week? Yep, they're down. Pool Corporation. Now I should actually remove the strike price. Look how low I have their strike price at 250. I said bad timing with interest rates and that type of industry. They had a bad day as well. So whenever I have got puts or really low target prices on these companies that went down, that means that the comments are appropriate, and it means you should be buying put options, which means you'd be making money if you own those companies. Avis went down. That's not. They'll probably recover. I'm not sure why Avis budget car went down. So this is fully accessible and free. I don't charge for this, but I do like enjoy talking about the industry. I also want to talk about one thing. Was let's say we want to look for a specific company. Want to look for MicroStrategy. Reason why I want to look for, let's see here. Let's see how we do this. Sort and filter. Here we go. Search micro. Let's see what happens. Not in there. I think I have them in here. Instead of searching this way, we'll sort everything alphabetically and then scroll. Because we are doing this, I really want to make it a phone video because here I'm thinking about what I might do tomorrow on Friday in the market, and I love that I can just whip out the phone. I used to not be able to get the phone to work. There were so many companies that the phone would not load, but at 260 so companies, it actually does work, and you can really look. So the reason I want to bring up MicroStrategy was because there we go, MicroStrategy Incorporated. They tie themselves to Bitcoin a lot. That's part of their strategy is to they get pummeled when Bitcoin goes down and it goes up and they do well. Well, Bitcoin has had a rough run the last month or so because of the Sam Bankman-Fried FTX situation. And what you're seeing here and where there might be some value is that Bitcoin still, and cryptocurrencies still, but especially Bitcoin, because I still think Bitcoin is really the only main cryptocurrency that's accepted everywhere cryptocurrencies are accepted. It's still Bitcoin, even though I know there are others. But I believe the biggest one that has the most value in the system, supposedly, of people that think that there's value in there, is Bitcoin. So what I want to say about it is, well, the Bitcoin, if it's going to be the currency and people are going to respect it and never really want to cash it out into the banking system, then it will retain a lot of value. But if people are going to be moving money out of Bitcoin into a currency, it has to go through an exchange. And the exchange is, there's no way an exchange can properly cover all the Bitcoin. Whoops. There's no way an exchange can properly cover a full cash out of Bitcoin at whatever value it is, because that's not what it went in there at, basically. Meaning exchanges are extremely risky, and you can never assume that any exchange is going to stay in business and be able to cash out all your money. So when you have the FTX company essentially filing for bankruptcy, or however this guy did this, at some point, who knows the management problems that led to that, but even the appreciation of Bitcoin going from a very, very small amount to a very, very large amount, the exchange doesn't have the cash to pay you out. Like if you pay the exchange, you bought $20,000 worth of Bitcoin, or $15,000 you pay for one Bitcoin, and then 5 years from now that Bitcoin is worth $100,000. Okay, and then you're in the same exchange and you try to cash out that $100,000. Well, the exchange was supposed to buy Bitcoin for you and is supposed to be able to convert that to cash. But remember, the exchange only got $15,000 from you. So how are they going to come up with 100 to pay you back? Well, supposedly they sell that Bitcoin, or there's a lot of complex ways that they would get that money. But the banking system, which is where they kind of would have to work with, would understand that you can't just create money out of nothing and then turn it into cash. You can create money out of nothing and turn it into Bitcoin, but you can't turn it into cold hard cash or currency without an exchange. And so I think that there's a learning curve involved with understanding what exchanges are. And until Bitcoin is adopted everywhere, there was a rush of this years ago where you started seeing ads, you started seeing YouTube videos of people pay with Bitcoin and be like, I'm in I'm in Amsterdam and I'm at a coffee shop and I'm paying with Bitcoin, and everyone's thinking it's cool and everyone thinking it's whatever, it's working. I don't know how many of those places still exist, and I never ever ever use it for anything legitimate, right? That's kind of still where cryptocurrency is, even though it supposedly is the reserve currency of El Salvador. I, I, I guess in El Salvador they're using it, and when it drops like this, I don't know how that affects the economy around them. But our proxy for that is watching MicroStrategy. And to see MicroStrategy at $173 a share, I'll go review their financials tomorrow. But given other indicators of where investment is and where people are, how people are thinking about dumping lots of money into things, crypto is one where if people get the wind of the exchanges being as risky as they think, they're not going to want to hold their money and their value in the exchanges anymore. And that's going to have no other impact on reducing the price of Bitcoin. I mean, even Tom Brady turned off his like fiery eyes thing for Bitcoin. Like it sucks now. Like people lost entire portfolios that they had in that exchange. I wasn't one of them. I mean, I don't have a lot of money in crypto, but maybe you did. And if you were counting on, 500,000 in crypto sitting in the exchange and it's gone, now all of a sudden that's going to ripple through the community. And I don't see how that's going to affect MicroStrategy positively if they are so tied to it. So that's what I'm going to think about tomorrow, is maybe a put on MicroStrategy if they are still as related to Bitcoin as I thought. And I'm going to look at their profits and talk more about it probably tomorrow, because the market is really interesting. There's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of volatility in action, and even when things go down, you are not precluded from buying puts on companies that you don't like. So my advice is always buy long calls on companies you do like and buy puts on companies you don't like. And when everything goes down, on those days that everything goes down for some reason, you at least have the puts on the companies you don't like. And that can save you. But in general, you're rooting for those companies you do like to appreciate in value and to grow as you think they will. And that's the list that I have right here. So good luck, everyone. Friday. May all your trades be winning.